Every artist has an art style. It's what we usually default to when making illustrations, even when we draw memes. But today we're gonna find out what happens when you try to draw in your anti-style. Ooh, totally came up with this myself. Essentially, the anti-art style is the opposite of how you would normally draw. So if you usually only color in black and white, it's time for you to get out the neon colors. My art style is usually pretty damn edgy, figuratively and literally. I guess for the anti-style that means I'll just draw some normie. I always have the same sort of workflow that's pretty meticulous to get the cleanest lines possible with a ton of layers for coloring. So we're throwing that out of the window for the anti-style. The sketch will be the line art and I'll try to use less layers, as much as I'll probably hate it. For my normal style, I start off as usual. I roughly sketch the body and gradually add more details. I picked Kafka from Honkai Star Rail for this, since she's currently one of my favorite characters. Plus, she's very willcore and perfectly represents my edgy style. I give her a big, insane grin and struggle while trying to make her hold her guns, but eventually give up because it didn't work well in this composition. Instead, I make her hold her glasses to have more space to show her clothes. Oh yeah, those curves are highly consumable.
Damn, boy, he's thick!
I copy and paste in a picture of my glasses because I sure as hell am not gonna draw those from memory. I draw the line art in typical Will fashion, as in it could literally stab you. In fact, you're currently bleeding out just from looking at it. Better call an ambulance. The perfectionist in me forces me to draw out all the little details that nobody will ever care about. Then I drag and drop in the colors because unlike you peasants, my line art is so clean that there are no gaps. This is objectively the best method to line because, it saves time. Although if I think about it, doing clean line art actually takes a lot more time. So, maybe not. Maybe I'm just high on copium, I don't know. I start shading the face with some edible colors and put a greenish color as the highlight. It might not make any sense, but it looks good, so shut up. I add some volume to her, stunning heart with shading as well as the rest of her shirt. This is one of those times where the clothing folds just worked. Like, they just look good. Especially that little orange part of the shading, right at the edge where the shadow meets the light. Yeah, we love that. I add some delicious shading to her hair with bright pink and also some nice blues for the highlights. Then I move on to the next area Sims will spend the most time staring at. Her pants kinda look like they're literally glued to her stomach and don't let through any air, but the aesthetic slaps. Type 1 in chat if you would pay for her used pants. Actually don't do that or I will report you to the local Sim police. I render out all the little details like the metal parts and her cloak, and throw in a lazy gradient background. I throw in a multiply layer and erase out some parts for simple but effective lighting. And of course you can't have a VildrArt drawing without a bunch of rim light. It just makes everything pop, okay? Then I spent 5 additional layers to make the background look like someone threw up a bunch of glitter. And yeah, this is definitely an artwork made by me in my own style. So it looks like it's time for the anti-style. To get some more ideas, I asked what the people on my Discord thought my anti-style could be. And as much as I appreciate my friends, I was not going to try and unalive myself by attempting to go with a style that is straight up out of my league. And so I went back to my original idea. Something that I rarely ever do. Something that I detest. Drawing a normie. I throw on the most basic sketch and instantly move on to the line art. Or sketchy line art? This time I chose Tripart, also from Honkai Star Rail, as he is one of the most anti-Will characters ever. He's not a Will character, you know.
He's anti-Will character, yeah.
He's such a generic dude that I literally would never want to draw him unless someone paid me for it. But I guess I am drawing him right now and nobody's paying me, so that's not really true. I'm doing it for the clout, okay? It's all for the clout. I try to stick somewhat to the anime style, since I would usually go more in detail with his face shape and give him an actual nose. His face looks like a weird potato, and I guess that means I did it right? What am I even doing? I give him some hair, keeping it basic because Tripart doesn't deserve any better after he took Himeko from me. Himeko. That's not Himeko. Honestly, is this still the anti-art style challenge? Or the boring art style challenge? Alright, the line art is as good as it's gonna get. So I year on these splotches of color to keep me from my old, precise ways. I roughly shade his hair, face, and clothes, making sure to never make it too interesting. Honestly, the eyes are the only part about this that I can kind of accept. Then he also gets funky dot patterns and rim lighting, so he doesn't have to feel completely neglected. Honestly, I don't really feel happy with this one. It just looks like I suddenly lost half my art skills, so I decided we're doing another drawing. By now, my friends already came up with some more ideas, so I changed my approach. This drawing will be focused on the face. The shape should be more round and kind of semi-realistic, but also sketchy. Basically simple but effective with some texture. I drew a real person for once because I never do that, or rather use them as reference very loosely. I sketched out the body, already focusing on more loose, flowy lines and round shapes. I give this good lady a very nice booba, so you guys don't click off the video. Picking brushes for this is hard because I always use the same ones, and I'm just really picky about brushes, okay? Okay, I'm literally struggling so hard with the facial features because I don't know how to make them look nice, but not too close to my style. Those eyebrows are slaying though, we love a bald queen. Then I steal her bald trademark and replace it with weird, floating hair. Don't ask, okay? It's too abstract for you simpletons to understand anyways. She doesn't have to be a white blob anymore, hooray! I give her some blushy cheeks like she just ran a marathon or got a sunburn, because that's cute, right? Ooh. And of course her eyes get special rendering privileges. Usually I like to blend out the brush strokes so it looks more realistic, but here I'm adding strokes for the textured vibe. I put some dark blobs in her hair that I blend out, which magically make the hair look glossy. Why am I putting weird blue stuff in her hair? Counter question. Do you not want your hair to glow like it has LEDs in it? Don't lie to me, you're just jealous of her. To finish it off, I add some highlights to her face for that wow effect. And of course, I can't help but add my signature to be pretentious. I think the second attempt at the anti-art style worked a lot better than the first because it wasn't just downgrading my style, but actually changing it in ways that still look nice, which is generally harder to do. Of course, you have to keep in mind that the Kafka artwork took me 11 hours, while both of the anti ones took me an hour each, so it's hard to compare them. Then again, I often spend that much time on an artwork, so it's fitting that the anti-artworks were less time extensive. Also, in case you got inspired and want to try this challenge for yourself, I'm actually hosting one on my Discord server. So, come join us. Now, if you enjoyed my rambling, you can listen to me ramble more in this video. Thanks for watching, Will out.